Hey, what's up, everyone? Back for this Wednesday slate. We have a nice slate for tonight, so let's get right into it. You can drop a like down below and subscribe if you have not already. Looking to get back on track. Last night was not a very good day at all, so hopefully you guys might have made some money, but personally was a little bit too heavy on the Sixers, even though I thought it was just worth the risk with the minutes that they were going to play. But the Lakers defense kind of did shut them down in the second half. But hopefully you guys, like I said, had some success. Looking to get back into it tonight, so let's get started here at point guard. Once again, we have some injury news on the slate that will be worth monitoring, and we'll probably get some new ones throughout the day. The main one is the Celtics. Our questionable players are Jaylen Brown and Gordon Hayward. Kemba's already been ruled out for this game, and Tatum's status has not been released. I expect Tatum to play. I don't know about Jaylen Brown or Gordon Hayward. And then the Pistons have a questionable player in Brennan Knight, and Derrick Rose is out. And it looks like Damian Lillard is going to play tonight, so that's good for the Blazers. Starting off here at point guard, and the Cavaliers are also very banged up. Tristan Thompson, if he's out, then they ran a 7-man rotation. They'll be down to the same 7. Maybe they'll call up somebody from the G League just as backup, but we'll see about them. But they look pretty appealing just for the minutes that they're going to play. But at point guard here, I'm looking at, I think Damian Lillard looks good at 10K, assuming he's not limited. Lillard's return makes CJ McCollum no longer playable, in my opinion, until his price tag comes down. I'm looking at definitely John Morant at 72. LeVert at 7,200 looks good. Marcus Smart, under 7,000. I like Sexton a lot at 6,600. I like Kobe White. Under 6K, I like Bledsoe, 5,900. It's pretty cheap for him. And then I think Fultz is viable, but that's like a deep tournament play. And then under 5K would be Brennan Knight as the value play, assuming he's in. Right now, I kind of like Smart at 7K just because the Celtics are so banged up. If both Jaylen Brown and Hayward are in, then I probably won't pay 7K for him, but I think it's worth it just because probably one of them is going to miss. Even if Tatum's in, it's probably going to be Tatum, Smart, and maybe one of Brown or Hayward, or probably both might be out tonight. So they're going to need Smart to shoot a lot. He's shooting quite a bit the last couple games, well into the double digits. It was a overtime game against the Nets, which was a pretty bad lead blown by the Celtics. They were up by like 21 points. But now they get a feast on this Cavaliers team. The Cavaliers have been playing better since they replaced John Beilein. But Smart at 70,000 looks viable just for the minutes that he should play with the usage that he should absorb with some of the injuries. And the Celtics are very bad against point guards and guards in general. So Smart has a great matchup and can rack up some steals against a young team that can be turnover prone. At shooting guard, I think Bradley Beal's viable, but 10-6 is definitely not any sort of a discount. Looking at Jimmy Butler at 7,800. I'm looking at LeVert at 72. Definitely love Collin Sexton at 6,600. I like Kobe White. He played 32 minutes. He only shot 8 of 20, but still made value. He's going to have a lot of usage without Zach LaVine. Even if Marketing comes back, he should be limited. So White looks good at 6,200, probably my favorite player to target from the Bulls right now. And Dillon Brooks looks good as well. He's been just shooting as much as he wants. 17 shots in just 24 minutes. 24 in 35 against the Lakers. He just has free range to shoot. It's a fine matchup against Brooklyn. It's definitely not as tough as he's had it against the Lakers defense a couple days ago, against Houston, but against Atlanta they just blew him out, so he lost 10 plus minutes. Love Kevin Porter at 5,300. He should play huge minutes again without Garland and without Drummond, and if Thompson's out, then like I mentioned, they could run a 7-man rotation again. But right now I'm looking at Kobe White. He looks pretty good at 6,200. Small forward, it's Jimmy Butler, Brandon Ingram, and depending on the status of the Celtics, if Hayward's in at 76 and Brown and Tatum's out, then he would be viable. But you just gotta wait until we get some news on the team. I'd say there's not a ton at this position that looks that appealing. T.J. Warren looks good if Oladipo misses. And it looks like Otto Porter will get more minutes tonight, but he's not cheap at 5,400. I don't think he's going to get 30 minutes all of a sudden. But definitely looking at Kevin Porter at 5,300. Played 41 minutes against Utah. We'll probably see a similar amount tonight with just how shorthanded the Cavaliers are. And it's not as bad of a spot as it looks. The Celtics are depleted with injuries. It's a back-to-back after losing a bad loss on the road, so they're traveling. And the Cavaliers are at home. They've been playing pretty good over the past week or two, so it's not as terrible spot as it appears. I think Kevin Porter at 5,300 still has that big-time upside to pay off that salary. At power forward, it's Sabonis, 87, looks fine. I like Zion at 8K. Kevin Love at 77. Even if Thompson's in, he could play him, but if Thompson's out, that looks even better. Same thing goes with Larry Nance. If Thompson's in, you don't need to play him. Probably won't get to him, but if Thompson's out, then he looks pretty good at 6,500. And then if you're going cheap at this position, there's probably once again, Cedi Osman at 4,100, depending on Thompson's news. Even if Thompson's in, you could still play him at that price point. We'll see good minutes tonight. At center, I'm looking at a couple options. It's Vucevic at 8,500, especially if Gordon misses again today. It's Valanciunas at 7,800. His price tag took a big jump up, so he's not a must-play by any means, but he's still in play against a very bad Brooklyn frontcourt in terms of defense. And then I'd say the Cavaliers news, depending on injuries, you got to have some interest there. And then if you're going cheap, maybe Naz Reid, but don't want to jump on him, and his price tag has come up. So right now I think Vucevic looks good, depending on the news that we get out of Cleveland. And then at guard here, I like Collin Sexton. He played about 40 minutes last game, was amazing. We'll have to play a similar amount tonight. No Garland. We'll get a nice usage bump. Has the ball in his hands a lot, and he's been pretty good this year. He's a good shooter. He just doesn't get you a ton of peripherals, which can kill you, but he's going to play 40 minutes tonight, so we'll run into rebounds, we'll get you some assists, and can get some steals too. So at 6,600, he's at a price point where I didn't expect to play him, but with just how banged up the Cavs are, and Sexton has been pretty consistent for most of the time. He's getting you 30s and 40s, with a pretty big ceiling with the injuries on the team right now. And then a value player that I like is Svi Mykhailiuk at 3,900. Looks pretty good just because they are banged up once again. Rose is out. Bruce Brown is doubtful. Brandon Knight's questionable. Either way, Svi Mykhailiuk's looking at 35-plus minutes tonight. Under 4K, looks pretty good. If Brandon Knight's in, then I would probably play Brandon Knight over Svi, but he's questionable right now, so we'll just wait till we get some news on that. Then over on Fanduel, it's pretty similar to the players I'm liking. At point guard, I think both Luka and Damian Lillard are viable. Probably like Damian Lillard a little bit more, just he's only 9,000. It's a great matchup against Washington. Assuming he's not limited, that looks pretty good. And then you also have quite a bit of options. This position is pretty deep. You have John Morant. I like Kobe White. Elfrid Payton looks good as a value. As a tournament play. Only played 19 minutes against Houston, but that's probably because they just rolled with the guys that were hot off the bench. And then you have Collin Sexton, which I do like quite a bit. And Brandon Knight, if he's in, could play him. But definitely Sexton looks good just based on his price point, the minutes that he's going to get. It's a home game. At shooting guard, I like Bradley Beal as a pay-up option. Definitely the best one, really one of the few ones we have at the position. And then I like Drew Holiday at 7,900. I definitely love Marcus Smart at 65 and Karis LeVert at 6,000. It's really cheap. And then both Schroeder and Brooks are in play for me too, just because Gallo hasn't played on back-to-backs in a long time, so Schroeder will get more minutes and more usage. And Brooks looks good just for the amount of shots that he's going to take. But personally, LeVert should not be 6,000 with his role on the offense right now. That just makes no sense. Small forward, it's, once again, we'll have to see if one of these Celtics are in. I'll probably play them just because they're so cheap and there's not that much to like at the position right now. Besides them, you have Kevin Porter's probably my favorite option then. And then I would say that it's a price tag on Cedi Osman. He's only 3,800. That would also be viable due to just how banged up the Cavaliers are. But really, I like Kevin Porter for the minutes that he's going to play, the upside that he does possess. Power forward, it's probably Christian Wood at 78. I like Zion. I love Kevin Love, no pun intended. 6,600 for him. Looks great at home. Only saw 31 minutes, which was surprising considering they only ran 7 guys. But assuming he gets similar amount of minutes, we've seen him get 37, so I'm not sure why that was, but I think he looks good either way depending on Thompson news. He won't be as affected by Thompson news as Larry Nance would, but both of them are in play. Still, Larry Nance will get good minutes off the bench as they would probably run like a 3-man rotation for the power forward and center spots. But Kevin Love looks great. And then at center, the few options that I'm considering are Vucevic, Gobert, Valanciunas, and Tristan Thompson if he's in. They're the ones that look the most appealing for me. They said Wendell Carter will get a minutes increase. He's only 4,000, but not sure he will get as big of a bump as we want. And then Mitchell Robinson is questionable. If he is out, then Bobby Portis is viable at 3,800. But right now, I like Vucevic. 8,300 is inexpensive, especially if Gordon is out. We'll get more usage, more shot attempts, more assist opportunities, and he's pretty cheap. So that's what I'm looking at for this slate. Hopefully we get back on track tonight on Draftkings especially. That was pretty ugly last night, but this slate looks a lot more appealing, so feel pretty good about it. So thanks for watching, and good luck today.